Hello, good morning. My name is Judith DeVertile, principal of Pideo Learning Center and Mozart School of Music and Chess. I would like to say thank you for the media coming out this morning. Thank you so much. And thank you to Mr. Ferguson and the scrap iron dealers to continually invite me, because we do have solutions for the crime situation. And of course, Pastor Dutton is also here, a great supporter of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, let me declare that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has also been partnering with Pideo Learning Center towards educating and getting our children, the youth of this nation, organized. Because at the end of the day, they need to be educated. An educated young person, an educated adult will not do what we are seeing in this country at this time. And through the Private Special Schools Association, of which I am a member, we are offering homeschooling for all the children that are presently not in school because of school repairs not being done, flooding in some schools. We are offering homeschooling, and you can contact me 333-3173. Let us educate our children, and I trust that in the upcoming budget next Monday, please God, we will indeed see funds allocated to education so that our children will be educated. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. As was said by our dear educator, we are here this morning to give total support to the anti-crime initiatives taken by the Scrap Iron Dealers Association. And our theme this morning is Together We Are Stronger. I want to emphasize that together we are stronger. And we are seeking to have all the religious groups involved. I am a firm believer. I have the absolute quintessential conviction that if all the churches come together, all the business groups come together, all the ethnic groups come together, we will win the battle against crime. We see the criminal element, getting together. And from what I have heard, there is an initiative in the underworld to pull all the gangs together under one gang leader. Now that is not going to be such an easy task, but it shows you that they have a plan. They have a plan to recruit young people in the secondary schools. And therefore the Scrap Iron Dealers Association, under the astute leadership of our dear brother Alan Ferguson, we have gone to communities. The next step was going to communities and giving out hampers. I'm talking about in very vulnerable communities, from Lebre to Grandy, from Grandy to Maloney. That is what we have been doing. We have had about 7 of those programs. The next step is a job employment initiative, and also the motivation and adoption of youth who have no parents, young people who are searching for a way out, who would like a shoulder to lean on. We have a concern about them because the drug dealers and gang leaders exploit the vulnerable. That is exactly what they do. So this morning we're launching, I think Alan could correct me, the 3rd or 4th phase, which is the job employment situation, the career guidance situation. Well, of course the career guidance will come before the job placement. That is why when we have these hamper distribution programs, we take the names and addresses and emails and everything else of the families who are there, because we need to empower the families also. So God bless you. I'm delighted to see the number of media houses represented here, and may God continue to bless you. I now turn over to Brother Alan Ferguson, our astute leader. Let's give him a little round of applause, folks. Sorry.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning to the media. I want to thank you for coming out. This morning is a special morning for me, because when I look at what's taking place in our country, and I look at communities after communities where this problem is taking place, I decided, and I want Trinidad and Tobago to recognize, I decided to call on all who I could call on to put up their hand with me. And this morning I decided that I want Trinidad and Tobago, because the problem is not in Trinidad alone, that I putting up my hand with my organization and all the people with us here. I am saying is that we need to put up our hands to go to the communities after communities, not to lock them up, not to kill them, not to put them in jail, not to leave them alone to do what they want. We decided, we as our organization and the people who with us, would go to the communities and work with them to get the mind frame different from how it is today. It's not about killing them, it's not about locking them up, it's not about putting more money in the budget to build more jail and to kill them more. It's about we going into the communities and assisting them to change the mind frame, because somehow we believe that because there is certain people in the communities that causing problem, we need to kill them and put them into the jail. But I want to make it very clear today that we need to work with the communities, and that is why we calling on every single person in Trinidad and Tobago to come and work with us. The business sector, the churches, the mosques, the temple, the individual people who could work with us, who could help us when we go to the communities, to able to talk to them, to build communities much more stronger, and build communities, because we know we could work with communities. And today we are saying to Trinidad and Tobago and the government to work with us. And I am calling especially on the Prime Minister, I am calling on the government to work with us. We decided that we will put up our hands to work and make this crime that beating our community. We don't have no more time to sit down and watch what's taking place in our country. We don't have no more time but to say enough is enough. And we need to go out as brothers and sisters and work with us, not because it's a scrap iron dealers association. If God give us the strength and the willpower to go out and assist communities and work with the youths and to assist them, I am saying today that why you will want to come to help us to make Trinidad and Tobago and be free of crime. We in a situation that the gangs and the people who are involved in the gangs, I am saying we willing and I am ready to go and talk and to discourage them to stay away from this gang thing and a life of crime. And the only way we could do this is not by killing them or not by locking them up, because we're not going to solve that problem, because we have jail from since Trinidad and Tobago was created, since it started. And we ain't doing nothing. I am saying we need to do the things different. We need to change how we do things. And the only way we could solve this crime problem is not taking it in one way, buying more guns, buying more cars, building more jails, and people only talking. I am saying I'm ready to risk my life and all the people that working with us to go into this community, to able to stop this crime and talk to them and work with all the people who want to stop crime, like the police, the army, the government, each and every one who want to make Trinidad and Tobago a crime-free place. The only way we could do this is to stand up strong and say enough is enough. And the only way we could do that is we going and work in the communities. And I am telling you today, I decided I don't mind what it will take with strength and willpower, because I know Pastor Dutton and Rondell Fields and all the rest of people that work with us decided that we want to able to solve this crime problem. And I am calling on the government. We know you will go to the next week and call and deal with the budget. I am saying for civil society, the people who want to go into the communities and work with the people to stop crime, put a budget for that. Make sure that you have a budget for that. Because let me tell you something, if you put, don't matter what you do, all these people who only want to talk and don't come out to the booths to go into the communities to work with the people who causing the problem in Trinidad and Tobago, there's no way we could solve this problem by buying more guns. There's no way we could solve the problem by talking about more intelligence and doing all kind of things. Let me tell you something, America, which is the most mighty country in the world, they have problems with crime. But you know what they're doing? You know what they're not doing? They're not talking. And I am saying that we need to stop this stop blaming the police. The police is trying, and don't matter there's some bad eggs in the bunch, but the police is making all the effort to able to stop this crime. And I am saying we as an organization, we will work with each and every one who want to make this problem solved to able to put Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm saying today, we decide to rise up. Not rise up to do the wrong thing, but to rise up to do the right thing. And what is the right thing? The right thing is for we to go out into the communities and talk to the people who causing the problem. And I am saying today that if the government look at this marijuana thing, that everybody now want to open blocks, and because they want to open blocks all over, it's causing people to kill one another in Tobago. And I am telling you, this is part of the problem in communities. Everybody want to open block and sell weed, and because of that, it's causing a serious problem into communities. The government need to look at that and look at it in the budget and say enough is enough where this weed thing is concerned. And if we do not put stop to all these blocks with people killing one another, people giving people piece of weed, people selling the weed and not paying them, and they're losing their life because a pound of weed, half pound of weed, 2 pound of weed, and you all those know that. But I am telling you, this is part of the problem in Tobago, and that is why we say we're going to Tobago and we're going all over Trinidad to talk to people, to take, not to just go and talk to them, but to try to get them into works that they could able to work, that they wouldn't be in a life of crime. All who want to help to be in part of sports, we will go into the communities and try to get them into sports. The government have a lot of programs, the private sector, we will be calling on you all to help. And the only way that you could help is by you showing up and calling us, that putting down, that saying is that you have 10 places for 10 people to work. So when we go into these communities, we will be able to help them out with work. Work is a major problem right now in the country. Work and understanding that the mind frame of these youth need to be we need to talk to them about this mind frame, about the piece of thing, and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And if we do that, all the invasion, all the robbery, all the stealing, and all this sort of badness that taking place, if we go to the communities and talk to them, we decided that we understand it. We in the ghetto, we the people around them. We not in the Crown Plaza keeping no crime summit and crime thing. You know, we want to be going to work with them. The only way you can know what is the problem is when you go down to the ground and speak with them and understand what is the problem. And we decided that we putting up our hands, and I am not coward. I don't care where you is, we will come and talk to you and tell you stop doing this, stop destroying our country, stop doing it. The only way we can build a better country and build a better society and make room for our youth that coming up is when they understand that we need to change. All of us change. All of us was a little child. We changed from a little child to a young man to a big man. And this is where we is today. We need change.
Okay,
we need change.
Some questions. You mentioned the marijuana problem, right? So I know that the government had decriminalized marijuana. Do you think it is time to legalize marijuana to alleviate these issues?
I will say this. The marijuana thing not going to solve the problem. Even if they legalize it and do whatever, marijuana is a thing that gets you high. When you put a different mind, a different frame of mind in the youth's mind, why is it smoking? It takes them to a different way, to want to go and kill, to want to go and rob. Most of them is want to do that. Some people have control of it. Some people do not have control of when they smoke weed. And why we will want to build a society of smoking and drinking when we know that these are the things that cause problem. You look at when people drink rum, how much it destroys families, how much it destroys families. When you think the weed doesn't destroy families too, we can't continue supporting these kind of things for our country. We need development better than that.
So, one question. Over the weekend, one of your membership was killed. Right, it was murdered. There was a shooting and so on. Does this meeting have anything to do with that? And give me an idea of your feelings on that recent crime.
Well, if you understand it, it don't leave nobody. Just the other day, a minister was get robbed. It shows that the society don't respect the young people who robbing and killing. They don't respect no one. in society again. And that is why we saying today, enough is enough. We need to come out. We need people to support us, to go to these communities, to talk to these youths, to stop this thing what they're doing. And we, as the Scrappers Dealers Association, we not move away from to say that because we Scrappers and we going and telling people to stop being involved in crime, that they ain't killing our members. We have been losing members from since 2000. We lost a lot of members that get shot from guns. And what we will do, we had to say, we just tell our members, be more careful, and we said that we asked the police to please investigate that matter, because I am saying is that this person was home when they get shot, they wasn't outside. So please investigate it. We asking the police to investigate it.
Another question, like you mentioned, some of your membership was actually involved in certain crimes, all right, and there was a turnaround with that, obviously. Give me an idea of how your organization took people who were involved in the wrong thing and helped them to do the right thing.
Well, that is a very important question. What I want to say, and I'm saying, is that it's only now people noticing, but people who used to came out of jail used to come to us to get work, because in other organizations, if you come out of jail tomorrow, you're not getting no work because you ain't make no change. That's what they have in the head. But we just help them out. We just make sure that they do a lot of things that we guide them in doing the right things. And no matter they come out of jail, we still give them employment. We still help them. A lot of them now have family. A lot of them have wives, children. And some of them build a house. Some of them have vehicles because they follow in the right path. And this is what we are about, to try to change. Because the reason why I am out there, and everybody out there with me, is because I think Pastor Dutton and everybody know that change is a universal thing, and everybody could make change. People could make change. It has some people who want to make change, but the people who want to make change, we must give them the opportunity. We can't leave them alone because they was involved in some kind of thing and make a mistake in life. Everybody make mistake in life, and I'm thinking we need to help them, and that is why we want to go to help them.
On that note, right, you think maybe that is one of the things you'd like to call for in the budget as it pertains to anti-crime measures, more programs within the prison and for prisoners who are leaving, some transition programs, support programs?
Let me say this, right? There's a lot of people who doing things, but you remember I mentioned is that we continue doing the thing the same way and we getting all the same result. I am telling you, we need a way to change. We need to change how we do it. Instead, we have programs, we have this in jail, we have that in jail, we have all type of thing going on. But the things we doing it the same way, or the people who doing it, not doing it from the heart. And I am saying the people who I have with us, and the people who will be working with us, is people who will be working from the heart. The heart, to talk to people, to work with people. It needs that strong belief that there's a God. And you always need to tell people there's a God. And if you don't work and try to tell people change is a universal thing, and not just give them a sheet of paper and just to do work. We need a lot to stick in the head. We need to change, and the only way we could get change is by we going into the communities and talking to them. And that is why we are asking the government put some funding for the organization like ourselves who want to go to these communities, and we have to be using funds from our own money. And if we get help from the government, we could able to go every week. We could able to go 4 days for the week if we get assistance from the government. But with my money and the other people money who work with us, it's very hard. It's very hard for us. And that is why we having this to call on the government to assist us in these programs that we have.
One last question.
I have 2 questions to you, right? You said you wanted to get some funding from the state. Can you give us an idea of the sum? And secondly, how soon do you plan to go into Tobago? Thank you, sir.
Well, let me say this, I might have framed money, but the thing is about help. If the government don't choose to give we money and give to pay all the things that we need to go into this committee, because we don't want to pay. I personally, I could talk for myself, and I'm sure Pastor Dutton could make a contribution and talk for himself. I don't need no money. I need help. And the help don't mean that I need their money personally. You could put up your people to pay what we need to do to go into this community, or who you, if you need the army or the police to help us and assist us. All these things we accepting as help. And if you put a budget for that and you have to control the budget, we have absolutely no problem with that.
Okay, when you are going to Tobago, she asked.
Hello?
When you will be visiting Tobago, she asked.
We want to go to Tobago in the next 2 weeks. In the next 2 weeks, we will be in Tobago.
And off topic, you could comment on the extension of the strap dealer's license.
Well, I didn't come here today to deal with that, but I doesn't want to deny the media more questions that they ask. I mean, the extension of the license until next year, so we have license until next year. The problem is that the van collectors, which is the bigger issue, is that from the first and next month, all van collectors would need to have a license unless the government extend the time. All the van collectors you see in Trinidad and Tobago will need a license to do that collection. They don't have no license as it is now, and I don't know if the government will extend that van collector's license.
Okay.
I wanted to answer the question pertaining to the marijuana that you had asked earlier. The focus in life is the focus in life is not whether you're smoking marijuana or not, or if the government legalize it or not. Your focus in life is the purpose that God have you here for.
Yeah.
What is your purpose? Why are you here? A lot of the young people will not be able to answer that question. And you need to get in tune with the Almighty to answer that question. And when you know your purpose, you will think differently, act differently, behave differently, treat each other differently. And that, when I spoke earlier about education, a lot of our children going to school, but they are being school not educated. Some schools have no prayer in school. We want prayer back in school, please. We want the children to understand to bow their head before the Almighty. And we also have to understand that even though you leave school, you still need to pray. So therefore, it's not about marijuana. When you think differently, marijuana will be there, the gun will be there, and it will be of no interest to you. Thank you.
You mentioned that your organization would be offering homeschooling services.
Yes, Pideo Learning Center through the Private Special Schools Association of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. Is that a service that is available to people who just cannot afford to send their children to school? And what is the capacity of your organization? Like how many teachers you all have,
No, homeschooling is not like that. Homeschooling is for those who are not in the formal system. They are home. So you utilize parents within the family who are teachers, educators. You utilize community classes. A lot of communities have people offering different classes. You utilize community centers. You utilize the police youth club. They have homework centers. It's not for us to have the teachers. We guide you on the homeschooling system, which is separate and apart from our system as we have it right now. In Barbados, they signed an agreement since 2014 where they have a whole homeschooling system that runs parallel to the regular education system. So when COVID came around, all the children just switched over to homeschooling. Very convenient.
That is something you want to issue a call for, no budget is coming up?
Yes, well, the thing about it is, in terms of the budget, the homeschooling is just the unit that needs to be funded. But really and truly, the parents are dealing with the homeschooling. It's an interview, and you assess the needs of the child and the area they want to get into, and you set up a homeschooling system catered to that child. It's more one-on-one tutoring in that regard.
Could you spell the name of your school for me, please?
Paideo, Pideo Learning Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So that's like just 2 questions or so. Please.
Sure.
Okay, switch.
I just wanted to reiterate, you were saying that you had some information that the gangs are mobilizing or centralizing, as you were saying. If you could just share some more on that for us?
Well, what we are hearing.
Live on the computer thing.
Yes, okay. What is being said in the trenches where a few of us work. And now we have this, we thank God for the initiative of the scrap iron dealers and for Mr. Ferguson, who is putting out a lot of his personal finances to make this thing happen. So I endorse the call for the government to play a role here. In terms of the gangs, I'm telling you, the gangs are mobilizing, and there are some gang leaders who don't want to be second dog and third dog. They want to be top dog. And what you have is that, and I happen to run a rehab center, okay, in the northeastern section. So I could speak with a certain level of authority there. What is happening is that the turfs are shrinking as the drug dealers are multiplying. And the decriminalizing, you asked a question just now. We are saying to our young people, live a drug-free life. And when we say drug-free, we mean free from alcohol and tobacco too. This is where we are going. What we call the New Start formula, starting all over again. It's going to be rough. There's withdrawal symptoms, and we know all of that. But we are appealing to young people to live a drug-free lifestyle. And I endorse the call of our dear sister that prayer is important, whether you're Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whether you call God Allah, or you call him Christ or Vishnu, whatever you call him, the issue of prayer. A lot of our young people are growing up in godless and loveless homes. So we want to help fix that, and we need all the help we can get. Brother Ferguson asked me to make a statement, and I feel we are stronger together. And that is, we're asking all the churches. When I say church, I'm talking about all the religious groups to come together to launch a community adoption program. I see Brother Rondell is coming, and I'm sure he will have something to say. But this is what is involved. And we have to, the drug dealers have stolen and gang leaders have stolen a march on us. They are recruiting young people like nobody's business at a rapid speed. And they're going to our secondary schools and doing that also. In fact, one principal in the East-West corridor told me, she said, Pastor, you know what is happening? She said, I can speak for authority about 2 schools where the adult drug dealer in the community and gang leader is recruiting young people in Form 4 and Form 5. He says, my young people have been recruited. Now, I don't know what the inspectors in the education department would have to say on this, and the supervisors and what have you. But clearly, it appears to me the rate at which our young people are getting killed, in gang rivalries and stuff. And some is collateral damage, not involved in anything. They're not involved in anything, but they are really experiencing the backlash of crime. I'm saying we have to work quickly, and that is why the program that the scrap iron dealers would like to launch in a big way will be a counseling program. And we are asking counselors right through the system to come on board in Trinidad, and as he said, in Tobago.
And you had issued a call for an SOE as well?
Yes, I've issued a call for an SOE. I feel where the country has gone, all right, there's a time to take back authority. It's not a permanent solution, but it comes at a time when you're experiencing the crisis we're experiencing. And I am not sure we know all the murders that are taking place, sir, because some areas have unmarked graves, and that is how crucial it is. And as we see it, especially those of us who are involved in the vulnerable parts of the community, definitely we have to call a stop. We have to declare. Antigua has done it, Jamaica has done it, other countries have done it. And I said yesterday, the Crime Summit, we have what I call the Caribbean Mafia Alliance networking strategy, where you have gang leaders circling among the different islands and recruiting also. So they're not waiting on us to recruit, I think they're doing a better job than us in terms of recruiting young people. We want to recruit them for positive reasons. As she said, to discover their purpose in life. What is God's plan for their life? What is a true friend? All right, all of that we want to discuss, the street level with the young people. God bless.
Thank you.
Rondell?
He's right behind you.
When you finish, I'll jump. Sorry, my apologies.
My brother. Good morning. My question in this entire thing is, what is the role of the Ministry of Social Development? It seems like even the citizens ourselves don't understand the role of what a Ministry of Social Development is. The issues that we're talking about here are social issues. We're talking about crime, we're talking about poverty, we're talking about gang recruitment, we're talking about teenage pregnancy. All these things are social issues. You see, one of the issues that we have, one of the challenges we have is that we view the Ministry of Social Development only as a hub for grants for the underprivileged. But we do not understand that a Ministry of Social Development has a mandate to develop its society as well. We have the arms of the National Family Service where it comes to counsel that is important for Trinidad and Tobago, where it comes to the replenishing of the most valuable resource, which is the human resource, that is understaffed. They don't get the disbursement of funds that they need, and they do not get the drawdowns in time that they need. Where is the Ministry of Social Development? And do we as a people in Trinidad and Tobago understand what a role of a Ministry of Social Development is? Does the minister understand the role of the Ministry of Social Development? And I just want to make one call, and I want to make that call to the Minister of Finance. And I am hoping that with his disbursement this year, the Ministry of Social Development is prioritized, and that good strategy and good programs come out of the Ministry of Social Development. We try to fight crime only from the angles of the Ministry of National Security, but we fail to realize that crime is a social issue. Yes. So unless we have the ambits of the National Family Service strengthened, partnering with NGOs and collaborating on the ground with the counseling that people need to endure in this type of time, so that people could survive the hardships and people not end up in infidelity and end up in broken family and end up in single parentage. Unless we have that on the ground and the support given to the Ministry of Social Development, we will always have social issues. So my call today, more so than anything else, is for the Minister of Finance to do good by the Ministry of Social Development. And my call is for the Minister of Social Development as well to understand what her ministry is and how her ministry can replenish the psychosocial needs of our people in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Yes, brother.
Thank you.
Well spoken. Yeah, man.
Before we
gotta take the thing.
Before we close up, I just have one thing to tell to the media, to make announcement to the media. I want to say to the media and Trinidad and Tobago, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We need for we to stop talking and let us act. It don't have no more time for us to waste again. I am telling you, and based on the ground, that it's bubbling. Communities is bubbling. And when something is bubbling, it could explode at any time. We don't have time in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm saying to the business sector, come out to assist too, not just for the government alone. You need to come into these programs and help the poor, because you have big turnovers every year. Big turnovers you have every year. And we need all of your help to able to stop this crime. And I am telling you today, I am saying this, if we don't do nothing by the next 2 to 3 weeks, I am telling you, I will never wish fate, and I don't want it to happen. We will never be able to control these youths and them if they overflow. You hear Pastor say they're ganging up? I could tell you too, they started to talk to one another. And if we allow this to happen without going and stop them, I am telling you, we who get free, we will be able to even come in Port of Spain sometimes. I am telling all you, if all you don't believe it, leave it alone. But if you feel that what I'm saying is truth, let us help. We need to come, and I am putting up my hand again today. I am saying we need to do something now, because if we don't do it, it will get worse. It will get worse. And I am saying everybody needs to come on board for us to go to these communities and talk to these people and know who need help in social welfare. As Rondell say, we need to help. And if we don't help our country, we will need another country. And let me tell you something. You see what happened in Haiti? That is joke to what will take place in Trinidad. Because them fellas and them, I telling you, they have plenty guns. Because you've seen it, every group have big guns. And that is only be what they have to show. But I am telling you, if we do not come out and help, I don't wish one bad for Trinidad, because I live here and I want to be this country to be a good country. And I am saying we need to come together. Let me stop blaming the police. The police can't help this thing alone. Low well, we fool ourselves. The police can't help solve this problem by themselves. So I want to thank you all for coming out, and I really appreciate it.